helping out with questions today. So we've got a few that people have emailed in, tweeted us that we'll start with. We'll open it out to the floor as well. You don't have a mic, so you just have to project old stuff so we can hear you.
That shouldn't be a problem.
Go on. So guys, pick it up as and when you want to, and if you don't, then I'll obviously put it on one of you. But the first one I think is quite a nice one to start with, is how did you know you wanted to work in theatre?
Well, how did I know? From a young age, that's all I did. I was doing shows at Christmas and pantos and, you know, going to Saturday schools of drama and dance, and that was it. I just knew. I had the bug when I was little. I don't know about anyone else. And I love theatre. And, you know, I, from a young age was doing shows and tap dancing in the bath, as we all do. Nat, how about you?
Thank you, George. I was a show-off. Still are. Yeah, just loved showing off and being that kid, and did karaoke in Spain once, and the woman was like, "You should probably get a singing lessons," which I don't know if that was like a... Lol, you've not got the mic now, so calm down. Sorry, it's just marriage, you know? No, I was a show-off, that's basically it. Anyway.
Yeah, give one more.
Okay. It's so weird because I wanted to be a singer, I wanted to be a pop star. And then I was on holiday with my family, and I sang karaoke, and they were like, "Oh, we should put her on the stage girl." I sang Whitney Houston. No, Whitney. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, yeah, just trained and fell into theatre.
Yeah. I think it's true. Like, everyone wants to do it, and it's, you know, it's hard work, and it's working through that, isn't it? It's trying to sustain your love for theatre into when you actually get to do it, because, you know, it's like anything else. It's a hard graft. It's lots of work, and it's, you know, you do lean on that back when you really enjoyed it. For a long time, I still love it. What's your best stage experience, Jordan, ever?
As in, like, best show, or?
Well, either or.
This one, for sure. I'm not even just saying that, like, genuinely, this is, like, I feel very lucky to be able to play this part and be with this group of people, because everybody's so phenomenal. Best stage experience, though, okay, well, if I'm not talking about a show in particular, probably I performed with Battle of Hell at BBC Proms in the Park. That was amazing, like Hyde Park, on TV, BBC. That was pretty epic. But definitely this show, if I had to pick.
Right. What about you, Clyde?
Ooh, I feel like any time I've been able to be on stage, I've always felt like that is the best thing. Like, I just enjoy it. I think a moment or two is when I was fortunate enough to be able to perform at the Olivier's, and I've done it twice, which was amazing, and then the second year being able to perform whilst being nominated was like crazy. So yeah, that, I think for me was an experience that I will never ever forget.
Yeah, pretty special one. Hey, we'll move on.
I say what mine is.
Yeah, great, go.
So I was in the original cast of Sister Act. And we had, towards the end, Whoopi Goldberg came and joined us. And so sharing time with her on stage was probably one of the most special things I've ever experienced. She was a beautiful person and still is.
Yeah, it's always lovely as well, isn't it, when you work with somebody that is as iconic as that and has been so successful, but they are genuinely lovely people. That's always a lovely surprise when that happens. Any of you have any pre-show rituals? Clyde, Akko?
Ross has brought this to me.
Well, it's on the list, mate. It's on the list.
Because in our dressing room, every day at the 5, the 5 is when we get our 5-minute call before we have to come down for the show. We play a song called Ain't No Fish.
Classic.
Yeah. I'm done working, darling. You like, for those of you who are like, who follow the Bonnie and Clyde Instagram account, you will have probably seen a video or a couple of videos of the dressing room, and the song annoys the hell out of everyone. So, job done.
pre-show ritual. What's your favourite song to sing in the show? Or your favourite song in the show?
Okay, I've got 3.
Oh, okay. 3
My favourite solo song is definitely Raise a Little Hell. Like because the journey and the notes is pretty good. And then a duet would be mine and Frankie's Too Late to Turn Back Now. Love singing that. And also When I Drive is my third. But I also like I also like the other duet that we sing in Act 2. I like the finale.
So you can see why this is your favourite show.
Yeah.
What about you, Frankie?
I love to listen to When I Drive, and also Raise a Little Hell. I love watching it at the side.
You have to say one of yours because now I said last.
It's because I get to stand at the side and enjoy it, and we get to dance. We do. We have a whole routine. Love the routine. I love to sing. Yeah.
Moving on to another question, what excites you most about telling this story?
I think the journey that Bonnie goes through, it's an amazing part to play. From her beginning and this humble beginnings in a diner, and then falling in love with Clyde and just going down this path, and there's no going back. There's not many roles like it where you get to have this full journey, but also because she's a real person, she existed, so I have all this material to work from, which is amazing. So I get to have the facts but also make it my own, which is really nice, because sometimes, you know, when it's a fictional character, you get to do it all by yourself, but to have the material there to work from already is really incredible.
Yeah, it's quite lovely. A lot of the time when we were in rehearsals and we would talk about like pictures that we'd seen or stories that we'd heard, and we'd talk about that collaboration and kind of be like, oh, you know, in this picture, do you think this is when that happened, or do you think that is? So it's quite lovely to have something to leave, isn't it? Now, what about you? What excites you about telling the story?
Well, for me, like personally, I'm always, and in this show, playing or wanting to play comedy. But I really love that in this show, for the first time ever, I get to have that really dramatic ending. And she has a very unique story, because she really is going along because she wants to go for her husband. She's not going because she wants to hurt anyone or she wants to, you know, steal from anybody. She's going for love, and you know, she's a bit of a nightmare. But I do like that at the end she gets that really nice moment, and I think she gives it. She's hopefully not me doing it, but just that role. She grounds it when everything's going crazy around her. She's there because she wants to make him better and not. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
No, I remember in rehearsals we had.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
We had a discussion about, you know, you wanting to earn that moment at the end and making sure the audience are with you, and I do think. Especially with Blanche and Buck, they love each other, despite they're never really arguing at each other. They're never really going for each other. They're always united in everything that they do, you know. And the hardships of the depression, of the situation they're in. I mean, for all intents and purposes, you know, she's all right. She's got a business.
She's a nightmare, but for a reason. She's, you know, it's because she doesn't want him to do this. And she doesn't like them because he wants to do it because of them.
And there is George. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think he also. He wants to do it for her. There's a bit of a myth. He looks up to his younger brother. He idolises Clyde, and as most people do, Clyde has this magnetism that just that's what he was like in real life, and that's what we have in this show. So I think, but what Buck is torn by is the, you know, he wants the ordinary life. He loves Blanche. He wants that, but he wants not only better for them, but also the thrill and the what Clyde has, but he could never be Clyde, I don't think. And he dies You know, they all. Sorry, if no one's seen it. They're all dead now. So it's true. That's it. Next question.
I'll open up to the audience in a minute, but we had a lot of questions about, because it is such a big seeing and it's such a demanding show for everyone here. Like, are there things you do to look after your voices? How do you look after yourself when doing a show? It's something that quite a lot of people are interested in. Let's go this way. No.
I mean, the vocals in this show, we all attest to that, are really demanding. They're almost unreasonable. And so I personally, I love wine. But I don't have it. At all, I don't have it. I have one on Sunday. I get my little glass of wine, and that's okay. So, you know, it's just got to take care of yourself, I guess, and hydrate.
Quite a few of us have nebulizers, so we're constantly steaming backstage, and then, like for myself, I will go home and steam, wake up and steam, in the shower steaming, and then just drinking as much water as possible. Honestly, water is a lifesaver.
And it works differently for everyone. You know, I've spoken to a lot of the guys about it, and it's different to every person. You have to find a way that works for you. You know, for some people that is doing their own vocal warm-up, for some people that is, you know, taking care of. I mean, you know, going back to the work ethic on a show like this, you know, you really do live the show. Do you know what I mean? You go to bed, you wake up, and you think, I hope I can sing today. Not me, but and so it really is important. Like, Jordan, have you got any special things?
You pretty much covered it. I do drink wine quite a lot. But I drink a lot of water, which balances it out. Yeah, for me it's just making sure I'm staying hydrated. I try not to do too much of a warm-up, because someone told me once if you warm up too much, then you're kind of like leaving your best notes in your dressing room, and then you've worn yourself out. So I try and keep my warm-up to a minimum. But yeah, we kind of all are like the nebulizer crew. We're all backstage, like stealing. And yeah, just like taking it easy. Like, but that's the thing, when you're doing we do 7 shows a week. When you're performing this much a week, it's actually behind the scenes where you're putting in so much work. Like, your lifestyle does change as a performer. You can't be going out to parties every weekend and doing like all that kind of thing. So your social life might suffer slightly, but it's because you're putting in the work to make this as good as it possibly can be.
Yeah, and likewise, you know, for the guys that understudy these guys, you know, you can be thrown on at a moment's notice, so, you know, they've all got their own routine as well. Has anyone got a question? Yeah.
What is it about this show do you think connects so powerfully with specifically like young adult audiences?
Yeah, great question. Very deep.
I think, for one, Bonnie and Clyde themselves were young, and, you know, in the Great Depression, there was nothing else to do, so they found their own path. Like, they made their own lives, even though it was the wrong lane to go down. Like, it's exciting, and that's why people admired them, because it's like, yeah, they've just said, you know, there might be a depression, but we're going to go out and live the life that we want and have the things that we want. So there is something admirable in that. But yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of just following on, like, people love the story of the underdog, and like people that are standing up to society and like rebelling against the police and the government. And so that's why kind of at the time they became so famous and adored, even though they were in the newspapers committing these crimes, is because they were seen as the heroes who were standing up for the general public in a way, which doesn't excuse what they did, actually. But I feel like that's kind of why the younger generation do kind of gravitate towards it, is because we all love a story of people standing up against society.
Yeah, and sadly, you know, I think not much has changed, even though such a long time has passed. You know, we've seen it during the pandemic stuff, how, you know, the young want a voice. I've got 2 adult children myself that are 18, so don't look at me. Too young. But you know, I do see, I think that the correlation with regards to, you know, the struggle that that is in this play and in this piece. And you know, we see it with the youth now. They want a voice, and they are being heard. It's a really great question.
I think the music as well. I think the music. Do you know? I think that it's got this score that is just hooks you in and is instantly sort of moving and catchy and cool and also of the time but modern at the same time, which is amazing. So yeah, I think it's that's the thing that really struck me first of all. The score was just very unique and brilliant and really captured these people and what was going on. Yeah.
And also, sorry, just to add on, I feel like people love a history lesson in a musical these days, like Six, Hamilton, this. So I feel like people like to come to the theatre and learn something, so maybe that's also why the younger generation...
It was actually a discussion that I had with Nick in the audition process about, Nick Nixon, director and choreographer, about the show and about what he wanted to achieve with it. And one thing that was really clear is that he wanted to have it as it was, and not just a musical, but to have the grit and the hardship and the violence that was attached to it. And I think that that is all exciting. Whether it's right or wrong, it's an exciting subject to put on stage, and I think that's been done brilliantly by Nick on this. Yeah.
If you could play one other character regardless of gender, what would it be and why?
It's a hard question.
Huh?
Actually, to be honest, me and Frankie really want to do a version of When I Dry. So I think I would be Buck and you would be Clyde.
Let's do it.
Yeah? Shall we? Great. Someone get the tyre.